everybody. Jeff over at Metastock. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. If you're watching us on YouTube, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. It helps a great deal. Say where you're from, talk, ask questions. Actually, if you're here and you have questions, regardless of where you're at, there's going to be for YouTube, just ask them in chat. It's off on the right. We'll answer them. If you're going to go to webinar, there's actually a questions box that you can hit, and it'll send it straight to us. So we have a very special guest, Ed Downs, as you can see. Before we get him started, I'm going to go ahead and read a legal disclaimer. So let me go ahead and do that first. Today's demonstration is designed to instruct you on using Metastock and the accompanying software plugins. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used, bless you, by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. Metastock and its employees shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. Metastock and its employees do not endorse the purchase of a security, nor are they paid for the promotion of a security. No information contained in the presentation should be construed as investment advice or the solicitation to buy a security. So our guest today is Ed Downs. Ed has been a partner of Metastock since I started, and 26, 27 years ago, he goes before me. Yeah. You've been designing systems for a while now, though. We had a big.
Yeah.
You initially started making systems for the DOS version of Metastock.
That's right. That was that first utility that you guys sold.
So
yep.
Ed, you've done a great job. Today is going to talk about the AI engine that he has been designing since before AI was cool.
Definitely before 96. So yeah, way back there.
I should have popped up a screen and asked you if you wanted to share your screen.
I'm ready. I'm all set. I'll do it. Okay. Yeah. Let me just grab it here. It should be up now. You see it?
I do see it. Yeah. Profiting with AI.
Okay.
All right. I'll get out of the way. It's your turn.
Okay. Well, chime in anytime, Jeff, especially with a good joke. That'll be good. So listen, it's really great to be here. I've done quite a few of these with Metastock. I always look forward to it. The people there, I'm going to flatter you a little bit, but it's very genuine because I can tell you, I have worked with these guys for 30, 26 years, however many it's been, and always a joy, always a pleasure. This project, we got together in 2019, and I said, you know what, we're starting to take our stuff and move it into other platforms, and I love Metastock, so what do you think? And he goes, well, yeah, what do you got? I said, well, we've got patterns, we've got AI, we've got systems. So we've been doing that for a little while here, and just really excited to be a partner of Metastock. So thanks, Jeff, for bringing me on today. I appreciate it. All right. And yeah, thank you. What I'm really hoping to do today, I know we have a product, of course, that we're going to talk about that Metastock sells. It's this AI engine. It's very sophisticated, but simple to use. So I want to show you that, and that's a lot of why we're here, but I also want to educate you about AI in the stock market and other markets, futures markets, whatever, because there's a lot of confusion about it, and there's some truths I hope to impart to you. Everything is AI these days, right? You see it everywhere, AI trading bots, whatever. Well, a lot of people just say, an algorithm is AI, just a regular old trading strategy. So you have to be careful about that. But in today's presentation, we'll kind of go over how AI works a little bit, not a long deal, maybe 5 minutes, and then look at specifically how we have applied AI to the trading problem, which of course I think is the right way to do it. But I'll show you that, and we'll look at some examples and kind of get you familiar with what we've got here, what's on the platform. All right, so that's my intro. So let's go ahead and start here. And the company that, like I said, Jeff and I have known each other for a very long time, but we started this project in 2019 to take our software out to other platforms. Metastock was first, and it's great. So, but the company that I started to do this is an LLC called Fulgent AI. So it's fulgent.ai. And if you go there, you'll see the Metastock platform supported with many products we built. But that's kind of where Fulgent comes from. It means brilliant, I think, in the Latin, and so I'm really proud of it. But this is where we have those products available to people, and so we're going to talk about trading with this stuff, all about it, and how AI can help you in your trading. And then also with this particular product that we have, you can actually make your own personal AI to do pretty much anything you want. So I'll be covering that as well. And that's really the powerful thing about this, because people have things that they like to use, and you can take this engine and apply it to anything you're using, and it'll say, well, let's just make that better. And it does. So there you go. Okay. There is a report at Fulgent.ai. I actually ran our AI on trading. Let's see, I think it was options. Yeah. And the results are like unbelievable if you look at the testing, but that's there at Fulgent.ai. If you find under products, find Metastock or platforms, sorry, Metastock, and then you'll see that there. It's just right there. Click the download, and it's free report. You can just download it and get it. Okay. Fulgent.ai. All right, so the question here is, can AI be used to trade more profitably? And of course, I do think it can, but it kind of depends on what you do with it. If you go on YouTube and you just search AI for trading, this shot was done a little while ago, but you're going to see stuff like this. And I won't go through the specific companies doing this or whoever's showing it, but usually it's a graduate student who fed a bunch of Apple data into something, and he's getting this result, really excited about it. So the thing that you need to know about this is pretty much every single AI thing out there is based on neural networks. We have a new version of a neural network now that is associated with large language models, and it's called the transformer. It is the thing that makes ChatGPT possible because of the way it feeds back information into the neural network. So that's brand new technology. It's very exciting because that is making things like writing poems or letters or whatever actually possible as it tries to anticipate the next thing in a sequence. And so that is the game changer for large language models and most of the AI applications that are out there right now. But neural networks are still used for a lot of stuff. They're still valuable, just regular neural networks. We use something different than that. I'm going to explain that in just a minute. So one of the things that you'll have trouble seeing if you look out there is people will talk about their AI and they'll say, this is great stuff. You'll see these claims. What you'll never see is this. I've never seen it. Like, here's a Metastock performance test or any platform. It could be any other platform that does system testing, to say, is this really mechanically profitable? And, if you see it, write me because I haven't seen any kind of proof like this really ever. These are actual signals coming out of our AI engine, and you can see they're generally very, very accurate, very correct. So this is important to us. We want to make sure that what we do is mechanically tradable. And so that's just something that we do that very few people actually do. So I want to point that out. Now, let's talk about AI itself. So, as I said, most of these applications that are out there are based on neural networks, and they're great for pattern recognition. Is this picture a cat? Is it a cancer of some kind? What is it? So that's classically what neural networks have been used for, as opposed to what's happening right now with large language models. And the way it kind of works is you got these pictures that go over here, and it rasterizes the picture. It takes all the pixels and just puts them in one long line. And then in this case, it's vertical like this. And it will then feed it into this neural network, which has don't worry, I'm not gonna get too heady on this. don't worry, I'm not. But there's layers, and the layers are, every node in a layer is connected to every node in the next layer, and the information from these pixels flows through here, and it just basically adjusts the weights until it finally says, okay, I'm now getting close to recognizing a cat after seeing thousands of samples. And so you'll say, 0.98 or close to 1, yep, it's a cat, all right. If it's like, no, 0.01, it's not a cat. So that's kind of what they're trying to get this number to 1 by feeding lots of pictures in here and varying these weights continuously. And there's a lot more to it than that happens, but that's basically what's going on. Okay. So the problem with the market is it's so darn unpredictable. It's just always changing, always. No, it's like fingerprints. No two charts are exactly the same. And so, how do you actually predict on that? It would take a mountain of information with a neural network looking at a chart to actually predict what's going to happen. And that's why if you look in YouTube, you just won't see that. You won't see proof. You'll see claims, but you won't see proof. And because it's extremely difficult, if you think about it, I mean, literally, it's really, really hard. Like a car's going down the road, which way is it going to turn? You don't know. Depends on what the driver wants to eat lunch over here or he wants to go there. It's completely random almost. Now, we believe that technical analysis makes it not random. And I firmly believe that. We're trading profitably with it. I know you guys are with Metastock, and so it's good stuff. So what we want to do is figure out a way to leverage that, right? So the problem with using AI on these indicators, and there's a lot of them, is just exactly that fact, is that there's a lot of them. So here's indicators in Metastock. So if I wanted to use technical analysis, which is more refined than just looking at the chart, you cannot just look at charts and predict the market. Sorry, can't do it. But you could use what we use as humans to look at charts and get derivative information from those indicators to make a decision about trading. And we know we can do that because we do it every day, right? So let's just take one of these, and I want to explain a little bit deeper why this is so darn difficult to do, okay, generally. And if you look at the relative strength indicator, for example, it's just one of those 100 or so indicators, there's all these variations. Okay, is it RSI 8 period, 10 period, 14 period, 30 period? Which one do you want to focus on? Is it, it goes through 0, it's above or below, above 70, below 30, diverging. You got a moving average crossover on RSI. I could go on and on and on with hundreds of interpretations of RSI, and that's just one indicator. So to feed all this into an AI of some kind is really a daunting problem. It's almost like looking at charts. Okay, but let's see here. Okay, so we'll look at, let's just take that one. Yeah, it's infinite number of possibilities, infinite, with all these things that you can look at for any indicator, and then there's all the indicators. So the question is, how do we find good rules? And this is the first time you're going to hear me say that, because our stuff is based on rules. And so if you're looking at like RSI 13, whatever interpretation, a whole bunch of these things, if you have just 100 of them, I mean, it's infinite, right? But just 100 indicator relationships, and you look at every possible combination of those 100 things, like every combination, it's this enormous number. It's 2 septillion. So a computer can't do that. You can't give it 100 things and say, try every combination of all this stuff in charts, and was it profitable or not? You look at each one at every single place they happen and say, is that a profitable rule? This and this and this and this. You never get there. I mean, I don't know how long, it's like a million years or something to process that many combinations, and that's with only 100 things. So, of course, I'm going to get to, well, how do you do it then? And of course, the answer is AI, just not neural networks. Okay, so what we use is something called a rule-based approach. And it kind of works like this. If you think about how we work with charts as traders, we're looking for relationships and indicators that tell us a chart's going to go up or down, or not to trade it, maybe if it's too volatile. But those are rules in our head that we use looking at a chart. This is just a real quick example here. Bollinger Bands, when they narrow down really tight and they start expanding, we know that's a pretty good place to buy. You look at 20 period moving average, above the 30. Well, that's all, that whole right there is an uptrend. We know that. Okay, that's a rule. Then we look at momentum being positive, right, or negative. In this case, right here. Or MACD above its moving average is another thing. Now these are of course kind of related to each other, but traders use these kinds of things. I know I have, and you see them line up, and you go, well, there's one right there. That's positive. That's positive. This is narrowed down. It's going, and so I'll trade there. And you're trying to get the least risk you can get doing it. So instead of a neural network looking at these things, which would not be effective, what we do is we use something called a genetic algorithm. And you may be familiar with this. They've been around for a long time. But with modern computers, you can get a much better answer than you could in the past because of the processing power. But essentially, what it is an algorithm to find rules. And rules are going to be combinations of indicator relationships. If you have, and we typically look at several hundred at a time, not just 100, but several hundred. So these little chiclets here, they represent indicators being turned on or off. And so you start with this population of, say, 1,000 of these. So if I've got, there's only like 8 here. Let's say it was 300 across. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll go with 8. So you've got these things turned on and off. And so that right there is a rule. It's that indicator's on, this one's on, and that one's on. And then you look at the data, and is the chart profitable when those three things are on? And the software we have does this in nanoseconds. So it can look at a lot of data very, very quickly. But that's what you're doing, is you're coming up with these little possible rules and saying, is this one profitable? When it finds one that is, right, it goes, aha, that one is 65% accurate and it makes 1.3% profit per trade in the history. It will save it. And then what it will do is it will start doing crossover and mutation, because it's a genetic kind of a thing, right? So these are different chromosomes, if you will. It's just a rule with certain things turned on, like RSI 14 less than 30. And so it just, it basically will take these things and move them around with each other. It gets two good rules, and it says, well, what if we took this guy and put him in this one, and we put this guy in that one, and it tests them again. Is it profitable or not? So go through all the data, every place that occurs, that particular combination, and is it profitable? So that's really, it's pretty easy to understand it. It's just trying to find those combinations, but it's very, very efficient process, because these things are sorted. They rise to the top as they find good rules. And there you go. You got something that maybe it found 400 or 500 times in the historical data that RSI 14 less than 30 and MACD positive and momentum positive is a winning trade, and it averages at 1.5% profit per trade. So that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so we do that, and we end up with something called a knowledge base. The knowledge base has all of these rules in it, and these are names of the different strategies we've built that look at different kinds of applications of the rules. So in this repository of thousands and thousands and thousands of rules that have been found to be profitable, it will look through the data and say, oh, we got a match right there on that day. We found that this rule, which was very good, is firing. Those things are active. Those 4 indicators right there, the purple guys, are all happening on that bar. And it says, it puts a signal out there. So pretty easy to understand, really. Neural networks are not so easy to understand because you can't see what's going on. But so this is what our system is based on, is an approach like this. And of course, we have this AI module. It's a very large program. I mean, by program standards, not going to overrun your computer or anything, but it's many, many thousands of lines of code that do this. And it basically runs in the background. So you don't see it running. It just kind of attaches to Metastock and is sitting back there. When we go to a chart in Metastock, the Metastock interface will talk to the engine, give it all of the indicator values for whatever we're measuring. It's 100, 200 of them, however many it is. It's very, very fast. It will send that over here and say, do you have a match? It goes to the knowledge base, says, yep, we got one there, we got one there, we got one there, for the different strategies that we're running. And so in Metastock, you have this picture. Okay, so I think that's my cue to show you kind of what it is. So hang on here. All right, so here we are in Metastock. And since most of you have never seen our platform, let me just back up just a little bit and show you kind of what it is. If I go in the tray over here, the system tray, what I'll see is this F, which stands for Fulgent AI. If I double click it, this is basically the thing that controls what's going on. And in this one, I have other products that we've built for Metastock. There's a Coral Trend Trader, there's pattern recognition. We did that webinar like a week ago. Wave Trader. But what we want to look at today is Fulgent Technologies stocks, which is the pure AI that is generating these signals. So if I double click it, I'll see there's 4 experts in here, and each one of them is triggered by a specific thing. So what we do is we look for a good trigger, like maybe it could be a moving average crossover that's really often good, or it could be a gap or something that says, there could be a lot of really good trades when this happens. And then we let the AI add on the rules onto it that says, okay, we're only looking at those places, and then look at the chart and what happens to work with that thing. So each of these, there's a major reversal, swing trade, volatility breakout, and quick move, which is my personal favorite, honestly. But there's 4, and you can turn them on or off. You can turn on longs and shorts and all that to configure it. But that's really all there is to it. And if I look here, we're going to talk a little bit later about the strength rating, because the rules that are generated will say, they were accurate, predicted profit, and 75% of the samples, or 80%. So if we click these radio buttons, you will get better and better signals out of it because it's matching to better and better rules internally. But that's really all it is. You just come in here, you activate it, and then you turn on the advisor, and it will show up in the charts, where they're firing. The other thing you can do with this is, let's say, here's a swing trade right here. It got out there. If I click over there, it's thinking. Hello, computer. Okay, there you go. So if you go over here, it'll tell you that's a swing trade. It was a 75 rating, 75% profitable, over 200 in the sample data. And we look at quite a bit of sample data. It's about 10 years. So it found 200 cases, and the average profit was 6%. So that's your little dashboard. It's actually going to track these trailing stops, which are pretty straightforward trailing stops. Nothing sophisticated about them. But if you want to trade this mechanically, it'll show you that the current stop is at that value on that day. And then, of course, it has an exit at the end there. So really, it's on. It's running. So what I'm going to do is just go between some charts here so you can see kind of what it looks like. So it's pulling up, what is this, Amgen. And you can just see, here's a quick move. I mean, generally speaking, these are going to be about 65% accurate, to 70, somewhere in there, but there's a great swing trade right there. Here's one right here that went all the way up to there. So, but like any trading system or strategy, you want to look at the chart and say, does this signal make sense? Because it can find a place that isn't going to work out, because it's not 100%. So, but this will give you these candidates every day. You run the Explorer on it. We have an exploration, and it'll tell you on the S&P 500 or whatever, or even in real time, on the right edge, you've got a swing trade signal right now from this thing. And you can go through those, double click them, and look at the charts. So if you're familiar with Metastock, that's really easy to do. But we'll just keep going here. I'll just click through a bunch of them. And this is in the Dow 30, and you'll just see kind of what they look like. All the experts are running. This one, beautiful, beautiful, fantastic, great. That one didn't work out, and neither did this one, but good. So about 65, 70% of them. And it didn't see any over here on the right. That's interesting. I'm not sure why, but I guess it just didn't see any values that matched a rule over there when I was running it. Okay, so let's see here. We've got, this one is, look at that volatility breakout trade. Whoa, swing trade all the way up to there. These quick moves are tricky because you want to get them right at reversal points. Here's one that worked out. They're supposed to find a trade that lasts 3 or 4 bars is all. They're just very, the parameters around the rule that are specifying profit are just like go out 3 bars, and that's what you're training to. So when they're good, they're really, really good. It's like, here's one right there, and it went all the way up to there. We mentioned the other trades. So this is the best thing I can do to show it to you. It's just go through charts, and then we'll look at some of the controls you have. That's a major reversal signal right there. Woo, pretty good. Here's a volatility breakout. Oh yeah, quick move right there. All right, and let's see, we'll keep going, a couple more. But you get the idea. Yeah, that chart's kind of down a little bit. Well, anyway, there's swing trade right there. So that swing trade goes all the way up to here. There's trailing stops, so a swing trade only typically goes 14 bars or so, but it'll keep going if the trailing stop doesn't get hit. So that's good. And then quick move, nice. Here's major reversal and other trades over here. So, all right. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. This is what it does, and the whole point of it is to find these candidates on the right edge, each day, and you go through them and trade them. It's very easy to use. Okay, let me see here. Let's go and do a few more because I've got lots of time still. I mean, this thing, when I get into the product, it's so simple to use that there isn't much to say about it. You just kind of turn it on and it generates these signals. And this is a nice one. Charts that tend to look like this work really well with this stuff. It just really likes those hard reversals like that, like here and like here. It's training to them and loves them. So, like I said, I can click anywhere in here. Let's look at. Oh, that's not far enough over. There, nope, still not. There it is. So there's your volatility breakout, and we also have pages on the website that talk about these signals and how they were generated in more detail. That's that link right there. But at this point, it's in trade. It says 473 occurrences. That's a good number. When you see 500, around 500 or more, you'll get used to it real quick. You'll go, it finds 800 or 1,000 candidates sometimes, which means if it was 500, let's say, on 500 points in charts in the historical data, it found that situation, whatever that is. It's in there. It's in the database. We don't know exactly what is firing, but whatever it is that it's finding happened 500 times, and it was almost 2% profitable on average. So, like I said, it's pretty simple. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and stop there, and let's go back over to the PowerPoint. I got a few more things to talk to you about, and then we're going to have some fun with it. We're going to make some magic happen. So I know you want to see that. Okay, let me get back here. All right, so back to the presentation. Let me see. I got to get the right one here. Yeah. All right. So the other thing you can do. Oh, this just shows what I just showed you. You click in here, and it'll tell you those statistics. Pretty simple. Yep. All right. So the thing that, like I said, that we do is we test against other strategies and systems. So there is a system tester included. AI, it's AI stocks or FT stocks under the system tester area of Metastock, and so you can run this on any list of symbols against any other system in Metastock. And so I did a run, and I got this outcome in the run I did. That's important to understand, how well is it working. And then the other thing to show you, I could run this, we have extra time at the end, but if you run the Explorer that's included, it will find the signals for today. But the other thing that it does is it finds signals over not just today, but several days in a row, because sometimes a signal happens and it's a little early, like it hasn't confirmed yet, it hasn't turned in that direction. And so if you get signals over 3 days, you'll see the ones that it fired just a little early, maybe 1 bar early, and then it sees the turn, and that's where you get in. So we actually, have this tells you that that the chart, these are in long, which means it's a long signal that is operating in the chart, and it's not a new signal. A new signal would show up over here. So this says they are actually in trade over like 3 bars or less. And then this is, if it's in trade for a long time, it'll tell you this thing's been going for 183 bars. It's been in trade that long. This one 4 bars. The reason this is important is that if you're looking for good signals, looking at, like I say, 2 or 3 bars late is a really good place to look at it, because you want the chart to confirm the trade. That just increases your probability quite a bit. So you can sort on this and look at the 1, 2, 3, 4 bar signals and go through those. This tells you how many occurrences happened in the database on the rule that is firing on that stock right now on the right edge. So that rule happened 156 times in the historical data. You can sort on that. Maybe you only want to look at the ones that have like 500, whatever. I mean, yeah. And then the accuracy that was found for all those samples, like 79 of those guys were profitable with this particular rule, and what the profit was, 3.8% per trade. So it's really straightforward. You just double click these things, as you know, in Metastock, it'll show you the chart, and on the right edge, you'll see that Fulgent AI signal. Okay. So now we're going to get into the nuances of this. I've only got 33 minutes so far, so Jeff, I could answer interim questions right here before I show the amazing magical part of this. It's up to you.
Let me take a look. I don't think we have a lot of questions yet.
Okay.
Reminder, if you have questions, let us know. I'm just checking YouTube as well.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just keep going here. All right, thank you. All right, so this is the part where, I mean, yes, it's great. Out of the box, it does what I just showed you. And, real time, end of day, the whole market, whatever. It does take a little while to run. It's like maybe a second per symbol to actually explore, because it is calculating 200 or more indicators across the entire chart and then looking for matches in the database. So the fact that it only takes like a second is amazing to me, that it can do all that fast. But so, if you're going to run 1,000 symbols, it's going to take a little while. So you just let it run, go get coffee or something, come back. But this part is really where the power of it is to me, being a geeky guy. I just kind of like messing with stuff. So let's talk about the fact I already showed you in the interface that you can activate longs and shorts. You know, in just right there in that interface I showed you, that simple one dialog box. And we don't train all of the experts on shorts, only the ones that really work well on shorts. They're hard because the market wants to go up all the time. So it's hard to find enough samples, in historical data to get a good short rule. But that quick move generates a lot of trades. So it's fine. It does a good job. So you can turn them on or off with that. And then, this next thing is what I really want to show you, because it really is the magic of this. And that is the fact that you can take this thing, this module, this software, AI software, and actually create your own custom system very, very easily. All right. So what I mean by that is I've got a very simple example here, RSI 3 less than 30, which is, what these green little zones here are on RSI. And those are good reversal points generally. They can also be extension points, but generally they're reversal points. So I like to trade maybe when RSI 3 goes below 30, and when it crosses back through, that's like right there. That's a good place to go long. So what I can do is say, all right, take that condition and make an AI system around that condition. Like only train it to those points where that's happening and add magic to it. Add other indicators, Bollinger Band stuff, momentum, volatility, all these things. We have hundreds of indicators in there. So, and relationships. So it can actually just do the same thing. It just trains, tries to find ones that match up with them and work well. And it's surprisingly easy to do this. I'm going to show you, before I show you how it works, let's show you how this, well, I'm going to show you how first. Then I'll show you the outcome of this test. All right, let's go back over here. Okay, so what I want to do is I've got a special indicator up here, if I can get to it. Let's see, tools, indicator builder, and it's called Fulgent User Inputs. So I'm going to show you the exact process to do this because it's so easy. I mean, if you have any little indicator that you really like, and it can be a trading system from one of the plugins that Metastock sells, it doesn't matter. You just have to be able to define it. And where you do that is in Fulgent User Inputs. So you bring this thing up, and there's stuff in here. It's already been built up, and it explains it. But this right here is where the magic is. It's right there. Train longs equal RSI 13 less than 30. Train shorts is RSI 13 greater than 70. That's the condition. And it could call any function in Metastock anything as the condition you want to train to. That's it. The rest of the stuff in here is things that the AI needs. It wants volatility measurements. It wants, so we have, and there's how it talks to it. That's just there. You just don't touch that. So you go in here and you put your condition in here, whatever it is. Could be, C greater than EMA, 50, whatever. Or C, yesterday's value is less than, today's value is greater than. It can be very complicated, or it could be an actual function that is really complicated in Metastock if you have one of those that you want to use. And that's it. You just set that, okay? Then I go over here to the Explorer. I got you, Jeffrey, you did such a great job with this software. It's so easy to use. I mean, my goodness. So I go to the Explorer and I say, okay, I'm going to use the Explorer to go through all the charts I have in a list over here and train from scratch. So let me go down here and find, I've already got the Dow 30. The reason I would train on more symbols than this or more time, but we're in a webinar and it would take a little while to do it. So I've just got the Dow 30 turned on down here in my symbol list. And up here, I'm going to turn on the exploration that does the training. There's a lot of rocket science in here. You don't have to know about, but to get this to actually work, it talks over to our thing in the background running and passes all the indicator values and all that. So I've got Constantine is here with me today, and these guys made this happen. It just amazes me they can do this. It's fantastic. So you see here, Fulgent AI Stocks training. There's also a Fulgent AI Stocks, which is for just doing explorations on a trained knowledge base, but we're going to make a new one. So I'm turning on Fulgent AI Stocks training right there. And before I do this, I just realized I need to check because I may already have one by the same name that it's going to use. And if so, yeah, let me see if I can Hold on here. 1 second. I am going to, nope. So I have one here I trained. You can train as many as you want, as many symbol lists, as many time frames, whatever. So I did this one earlier. I was testing it. And what I need to do, I think I have to check it. Okay, I need to rename it. So I'm going to rename it to FT stocks. FT stocks. So I should have remembered about this, and I just didn't. Happens on webinars, you know, you get kind of distracted and stuff. All right, so I'm going to call this retrained 2. But like I say, you can use this module to make as many of these as you want. Experiment with it. Try different things. Okay, so there you go. There's 2. And okay, it's now doing all that. Let's see. Did it do it? It looks like it didn't do it. Well, oh, it's still doing it down here. Okay, I'm just too impatient. All right, let's see. Hold on. Train 2. And interesting. Well, that is kind of weird. Let me see here. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I redid anyway. It's okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I think it will bypass this if I just retrain anyway. So I'm going to do that, and because there's something I'm missing about renaming that I just didn't get right. So anyway, but I don't think I need to. I'm gonna try it. All right, so go back in here. There's my Fulgent AI stocks training. I only need to load about 250 records, and now I say okay, start. And so what it's doing right now is it's actually running all stocks in the Dow 30 through the AI engine. It's measuring all the indicators that are in there, and you know, providing them. It will in just a minute, once it finishes this, provide them to the AI engine for training, and that's what we're going to look at. So right now it's just collecting the data, all the indicators that are in those things, and so there's probably 300 or so roughly in there. We're almost at it. All right, so we got explorations going. Yeah. Okay, so it finished that. So it went through all those symbols and did its job. So now I'm going to exit this, and I can close this. So now what's going on? Well, what should be happening if I bring this up is it is going to train. So this is, I get really excited looking at this. It's pretty cool. Now, one thing I did also, again, webinars can kind of mess with your head, is I should have picked just one expert and trained just one expert. It's actually going to try to train all 4, but it's okay. I can stop it. But you'll see what's going on. So right now it says AXP saving samples, BA saving samples. So it is passing the indicator data over to this engine, and the engine is saving it and collecting it so it can run. So that's what's going on right now. So it's only 30 stocks, so it doesn't take that long, but it's just a whole lot of data. I mean, like I say, about 300 indicator relationships measured on every single bar of all 30 of those charts, you know, going back several years. So, okay. And people ask me, how long should you train over? I mean, the more the better. 5 years is a good number, but you know, it just depends on the time constraint and how long your symbol list is. But generally, the more data, the better. Okay, there it's on McDonald's, FCD, MMM. We're getting there. Merck. Okay. All right, Nike, PG. I want you to see this because you'll just be amazed at how fast it actually is. It's unbelievable. Even to me now, I go, dang, that's some powerful stuff. Okay, here it goes. So what you see is every time it's moving to the right, it's finding a rule. It's doing that genetic algorithm thing and trying to find a rule with certain things turned on that is profitable across all the data. It checks every rule against every single bar of data in all those charts. And you can see it's adding them at a rate of, I don't know, what, 10 per second? And so what you see here, this is the profit per trade that it's finding. So it's at like 2.4% right now. It has so far found 600 rules that it for this first one that it's doing, which is major reversals, and you just let it run. There's a way in the interface you can say just do this continuously. You can check that box, and then it will just run continuously overnight in the background and just keep trying to find new rules. Once you get all the rules, then you can use the constraint, which I actually didn't show you that. I didn't show you clicking like a higher strength rating, so I can do that in a second. But it'll go, I think I've got it set to do 1,000 iterations. So once it gets there, then it'll move on to the next expert. I'm going to stop it, but I think it's 1,000, maybe it's longer. And yeah, okay, yep, 1,000 iterations. And if you tell it to keep going, it'll go past 1,000. It'll go however many you let it, as long as you let it run. So now it's doing the next expert. Yeah, okay. All right. So let me go ahead and stop it here. And it actually then creates that, that we call a knowledge base with those rules in it. And in order to get something, and what's going to do now is it's going to train the other three. Oh boy. Okay. Check it. We're still good on time. Yeah, I should have told. No, it isn't. Okay. So here's the one I just did, but let me go ahead and go to this one here because I trained it earlier with more iterations. And I'm also, let's see, going to find relative strength up here and put it on the chart. Down there. And now this is RSI 11, and I think I trained this expert on RSI 6, so it won't exactly line up, but generally speaking, we want to be going short here, long here. And so let me make sure I've got that. So once you've trained, you just activate it and then just use it, have it go on your charts. So let me see. Yeah, one. And let me look in here. Okay, it actually has all of them turned on. Okay. Okay. So I'll close that and we'll just let it refresh. And generally speaking, so you can see that quick move signal aligns with this. Like I said, this is a different periodicity. So, but I can go through charts and, to get more signals than what we're seeing here, you would have to run it for more durations, but you can see they're really pretty good. So there's your RSI down there. There it is. There it is. That's a condition it's looking at. So just imagine whatever you have that you're using, you get these rules from what you're using. And that's the point of it. And that's it. So I had the example I have in the manual. I do want to show you the manual also. I think we have time for that. Depending on when Jeff wants to cut me off here. So no, he's good. All right. So this is what we just looked at, and then this shows okay every place you have that there's a signal. They're really good, and then I ran it through the system tester, just looking at the RSI system just by itself with like a 3-bar exit, and it just kind of sucks, but this is the AI version. So it clearly finds profitable rules from a very simple indicator because it's adding all these other sophisticated indicators to it to make rules. All right, so that's that. The last thing on here, and I'll go back to the chart, we'll do the 2 things I mentioned, is that you can use this on any kind of data, end of day or real time, futures markets. It's just looking for technical rules in the data. And we know this stuff works. So it just doesn't matter. Just pick your market. You can retrain. You can retrain any of those experts, on that market, which is very good to do. It'll make it more accurate. Or you can just use the generic one that we provide, which is really pretty good on any market. But if you really want to lock down on, say, the ES or something, you want to train on that market. And so it's just a matter of setting the Explorer, the training Explorer, to target that symbol and let it train those experts on that symbol. And it just does it. Okay. So last, I was going to show you this feature. Let me go ahead and change experts here to, where is it? Fulgent, right there. Go ahead and go to FT stocks, and I'm going to say, okay, refresh that. All right, and this is no longer applicable, so I'm going to delete it right here. And so we're looking at a chart here. What I'm going to do is go back into the interface down here and say, well, show me the 80% signals. And I have no idea what it's going to show, but we'll just refresh. And what we should see is fewer signals that are generally better. And we'll just go through a few charts, look at several here. So there it goes. Okay, well, this one's kind of a break-even signal, so is that one. But this is great, okay, good. So I'll go through a bunch of charts here. So there will generally be fewer better signals as you go up that strength rating curve. And these look pretty good. Yeah, so that one stopped out early. This is really good. This is amazing, that one. Let's go through a few more charts here. Just got to click through them. And Jeff, I don't know how much time you want me to leave for questions, but anyway, people can kind of see. Now we can go for broke here and say, well, show me like that next level, which is really hard. It's really clamping it down. You know, the constraints are pretty high. If I go over to 85, but let's just try it. Here's that continuous training button I mentioned for letting it run all the time. Let's refresh this and see what that does. 85. So it's only going to pull rules out that have an 85 rating, and you know, pretty good. Let's see. Let's go a couple charts here. Salesforce, nice quick move signal, a good one there. Not very many signals on that chart. But so the thing about this kind of AI, it's not like, you know, ChatGPT, tell me what I should eat for dinner or something. It is constraining down to only the good rules. So you won't, if you clamp it down like I just did, you won't see many signals. There'll be few, which obviously that's true, right? So let me see, let's go over here. Okay, you see the signal rating 86. So 86% of those 214 samples were profitable at an average of 3.6%. And this signal is just fine. It's great. It's profitable. So you'll get better signals. It's just there won't be very many. So we'll go back on this chart and let it just do all of them again. So show all. I typically put it at about 70. It's just a good place to have it. But go and let it resubmit that to the engine. And are we done yet? There you go. Refresh that. So you'll see all these signals will come back. There you go. And they're good, you know, nothing wrong with them. So they just won't have those same stats. They won't have nearly the high stats that one had, that signal had that I showed you. Okay, so we got about 8 minutes here. Jeff, I'm ready to take any questions on this, and you can.
Yeah, we had some, and I think a lot of them you actually addressed as you went. Jordan wanted to know if it worked for currencies, and you talked about that.
Absolutely, I'd retrain it. You know, just say retrain.
Tony wants to know, can the AI test outcomes for combinations of like unusual volume, breakout, low float, etc.? And I think the answer to that is anything you can code in Metastock, you can put into the engine.
Yeah, in that in the up here, I think I showed you that file. It's the indicator builder. So the idea is this is a condition. The question may be, can you put a bunch of your own stuff in there that it can train to? And we don't have that implemented where you can actually like put a bunch of indicator relationships. We have hundreds in there that we know are good, but that would be a good upgrade at some point to be able to do that. That, you know, that level of customization. But this is targeting a specific situation that all of those things can kind of glom onto and make a good rule. And we have market breadth things in there. There's lots of, been at this for, you know, 37 years. So we have a lot of good stuff in there that works.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Tony says, I'm testing theories for 10 plus years now, and my list of theories are running out, and I would like to test with AI for upcoming projects.
Yeah. So you know, just put one in, let it train, put another one in, let it train, and then look at, you can see the numbers. I'll show you this right here. Look, in that interface, it'll tell you, you know, that this training I did was 77% accurate with a 2% profit per trade. So you can put 10 or 15, however many you want in here, and train all of them, and then just see which ones worked well. So, yeah.
All right, that's the end of the questions. Do you want me to talk about the offer?
Yeah, go for it. And
Okay.
hey, thanks for having me on, Jeff.
You
Appreciate it.
bet. I turned off your camera because it paused and then just went to a dark
Yeah.
screen.
Well,
So
do I get to say goodbye? I got to come on just for a second here.
yeah, you can. It's
Nope.
still it's still
It's
black
still
though.
dark screen. Well, we'll just forget that then. All right. Sorry.
You can say goodbye anyway.
Okay. Thanks, folks. Appreciate you being here. And our company has really good support on this stuff. So, you get
They
the
do.
module
Yeah.
from Jeff, and yeah, just like Metastock, we really pride ourselves in that. Support people have been with me 25 years, so they know the stuff. And so if you have an issue or any question, you can call us, and we'll help you.
Right
All
on.
right,
Let's see if my camera works. Thanks, Ed.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, very cool. And here you can see a picture of the box. Ed does such a good job of kind of talking through how the scanning can kind of be put together, how the customization works, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really just kind of going to talk a little bit about what the offer is and how to get it. He talked about the expert commentary, the signal ratings, the ability to refine it, the systems testing, and how well the AI kind of improves the performance, the scanning, all of that he talked about. So what we're going to do here, the Fulgent AI is normally one-time cost at $19.95. If you buy it as part of the special that we're doing as part of this webinar, it's $747. It's a one-time cost. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can do that. You have to call in or chat in. You can call us at 800-882-3040. You can chat online at www.metastock.com/saleschat. You can also, if you're international, call 801-506-0900. So big thanks to Ed for coming in and talking about it. Big thanks to everybody, all of the questions, all the attendance. Make sure to like and subscribe. It helps a great deal. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.